Hey guys, Mrs. McSurley here. So, yesterday we learned about the basics of volume, and now we're going to look at a formula that's going to help you find volume. So, when you are finding volume, you will be given three numbers. You'll be given the height, which is those levels, or those layers, like how tall the prism is. You'll be given the length, which is the front, and how long the prism is, so right here. And then you'll be given the width, which is the side of the prism. It's how wide or how far back the prism goes. So you're always going to be given those three numbers. And so with your formula, you will do those three numbers multiplied by each other. You'll do the length, that length. You'll do the height, that height. And you'll do the width. Now, since this is multiplication, it doesn't matter the order in which you multiply these three numbers, which is really cool. Now, sometimes people will give you a different formula where they'll say first you find the base. Like, for example, oh goodness, now I have to draw. If I have a 3D figure, oh man, it's been so long since I've drawn 3D figures like this. Hey, that's pretty good. They'll say the area of the base, whereas like this right here is the base of the figure. So they'll say you can find the area of the base, which is doing your length times width, just like when we found areas of squares. And then once you find that, they say, okay, then do your height, which would be here. But really, in the end, that's no different than just taking those three numbers and multiplying all three of them together. So this, you might see this formula, but, you know, just like when we found the base of a rectangle or the area, we did length times width, which is what we're doing here, except now we're just adding in that height. We're adding in those levels and layers like we talked about yesterday with Prism. So for example, here we have this rectangle, and we're just going to take all three of these numbers, 8 times 9 times 3. It doesn't matter the order that you do them. It's totally up to you because it's multiplication. So I could do 8 times 9 and get 72, and then I would have to set up my turtle head here and do 72 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. And that would be your answer. And it's in that cubic centimeter, because here we are just looking at a cube in itself. We are just looking at the cube. So these would all be in centimeters. And whereas area, when we had length times width, if this was in centimeters and this was in centimeters, our area was centimeters squared. Because, oh sorry, you can't see that, because we were only multiplying two numbers. But now, because we are multiplying three numbers, it's centimeters cubed, or is cubed, you know, whatever metric system they use to measure. So it's cubed here. Okay, so let's go ahead and, if you could, turn to page 463 in your workbook if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and look at the do you know how. So it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to take all these numbers and we're going to multiply them together. Now, just so we're clear, this is my length. This is my height. Here, that 4 inches is my height. This is my length of 9 inches. And then my width is like how wide or far back it goes at 2 inches. Does it matter the order in which I multiply these? No, it does not matter the order. So I could do 9 times 2 times 4. And we know we don't have to worry about PEMDAS here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, it's all multiplication. So you can just go ahead and do it. You know, if I wanted to do 2 times 4 first, which is 8, and then bring all these down, then you could do 9 times 8, which is 72. Very good. Our label is in inches, and because we are multiplying 3 numbers together, it's inches cubed. So if you can't see that, it's inches to the 3rd power. Okay? Now here in this one, they're giving us the area of that base. This is like the example I showed you, where if you have the base, you can then take that area and multiply it by the height. So here in this example, they're giving us the area of the base. They're telling us that's 24 yards squared because they already multiplied 2 numbers times each other to get that. So then all we would have to do is then take that 24 and multiply it here by the height, which is kind of like our levels. So then I would just turtle head that. 9 times 4, and hopefully you were writing all this down, is 30. 9 times 2 is 18, and I add 3, 18, 19, 20, 21. So then you have 216. My units is yard, and because this was already squared and I'm doing one more, it's yards to the 3rd. So anytime we find volumes of cubes, because it's cubed, it's going to be to the 3rd. Okay? So what I would like you to do now, I'm not sure how much time you'll have, but I want you to go ahead and try questions 5 through 10. You know, if you need to grab a scrap paper to work it out, if you have turtle heading, you can do that. And then when I return, we will go over these answers. And then if you have more time in class, once you get this done, go ahead and stop and just work on your IXL Arena. All right, guys. Thank you.